Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Some, but not all, of a big pile of COVID relief money is finally on its way after Governor Whitmer signs one bill but vetoes another.
A day after Chief Craig had his say on the MSP trooper charged with assault over this arrest, the head of the Detroit NAACP is weighing in.
But we start here at 6 with breaking news from Detroit's east side, where a 13-year-old boy was rushed to the hospital after being shot by his 10-year-old cousin. It is one of 2 shootings today involving children, and the latest case of a child getting a hold of a gun and harming someone else by accident.
Happened at a home on Justine Street, east of Ryan and south of Outer Drive. Victor Williams live at Detroit Police Headquarters with the latest. Victor.
Yes, that's right. That 13-year-old is now in critical condition, hoping to recover. But it's just really sad knowing that 2 lives will forever be changed, all because of this incident. Now, we're told that police were called out to the home on Justine Street just after 12:45 Tuesday afternoon. And after making it to the scene, it was there that they would find that 13-year-old suffering from a gunshot wound. And it turns out the person that pulled the trigger was his 10-year-old cousin. Now, at this point, we're not sure where the 13-year-old was shot on his body, but we're told that 3 minors were at home when the gun was found and presumably used as a toy. Right now, police are believing that the shooting was accidental, but from what investigators are saying, the 10-year-old seems to be pretty distraught. Sad day for Alan Thomas, who lives just doors down from where this very sad incident took place.
It's a tragedy, when you're on the block, you see kids up and down the street, and you know them, you say hi to them and stuff like that. And then to wake up and know something like this happens, man, it's real tragic.
And plenty of circumstances are unknown, especially who that gun belonged to. But once again, this is the reason why DPD had been stressing those free gun locks that they had been giving out. We started telling people about this just weeks ago, and tragically this had to happen. So very important to take that seriously. Victor Williams, Local 4.
That's just awful. All right, Victor. Also breaking at this hour, Detroit police respond to a second child shooting on the city's east side. Happened this afternoon at a home on Elmira Street, which is near East 7 Mile and I-75. Police say a 3-year-old was shot in the arm accidentally, though they're still investigating how that happened. We're told a 4-year-old and a 13-year-old were also inside the home at the time. Police said there were no adults there. That 3-year-old recovering now at the hospital.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer did what she said she would do. Today, she vetoed one of the legislature's COVID funding bills, leaving billions on the table unspent. Local 4's Rod Maloney joins us live. And Rod, you told us last night this was likely to happen. So what's the reaction in Lansing tonight?
Well, as you can imagine, there's frustration and anger in the legislature. And let's be clear that there were 2 bills that the governor signed today, but it was 4049, the House bill that had a lot of strings attached that the governor said absolutely no to. And Tom Albert, who is the head of the House Appropriations Committee, talked to us this afternoon to express his frustration.
She said that our plan was nonsensical. I'll tell you what, I got a word for her. Her actions are befuddling.
Tonight, it's back to the drawing board for the legislature. Frustrated the governor won't talk with them about COVID response and not responding to their attempts to curb her emergency powers. But Albert says that's missing the point. She left millions on the table that had nothing to do with curbed powers, leaving small businesses in the lurch.
These businesses are hanging on by a thread, and there are thousands and thousands of people whose jobs and livelihoods, being able to support their families, is tied to this, and the governor just simply vetoed it.
He adds the governor's consistently turned up her nose at the legislature's education funding efforts that would have in fact curbed her powers.
We agreed to a return to learn plan last year, and that left the decisions on in-person instruction at the local level. You threw that plan in the trash. We don't trust you anymore. Parents want their kids in school.
The governor wants the legislature to approve nearly $3 billion already allocated by the feds with no strings.
I'm not going to sit here idly by and watch as another lost decade come up. So we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to keep coming up with policies and ideas that are going to help people.
Now, the governor said that the bill was reckless, badly timed, badly executed. In the meantime, the National Federation of Business in Michigan has come out and said that they're frustrated. They're not happy with the way this went, but they say they're also not surprised. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod. Yesterday here at 6, we introduced you to a 93-year-old World War II vet, Don Schimmel, who went to his local veterans hospital hoping to get the vaccine against COVID-19. He was told they couldn't give him the free shot because his income was above a certain level. Local 4 Defender Sean Lay has been working to get answers on this policy, and now it seems some change might be coming.
Well, tonight a local congressperson tells the Local 4 Defenders that they should have seen that COVID shots were included in the rules that Congress gave the VA when it comes to vets, health care, and income level. The result? Veterans, get ready to roll up your sleeves.
Did you get a chance to see our report with Mr. Schimmel?
Yeah, I did. In fact, that's how I became aware of it, and I've had the opportunity to talk with the head of the Ann Arbor VA this morning.
That's Congressman Tim Walberg from Washington tonight reacting to the Local 4 Defenders, highlighting the case of a man from his district back here at home. 93-year-old Navy World War II vet Don Schimmel, who went to the Ann Arbor VA for a COVID-19 vaccination shot, only to be told what other veterans like Don are being told. As the rules are right now, if your income is at a higher level than other vets, the VA will turn you down for a free COVID shot. Schimmel wasn't asking the VA for health care, just for a shot to protect himself.
Well, I'm glad I don't really need them.
The Defenders were there as the VA in Ann Arbor began vaccinating our vets, a VA that does great work every day, but they have to stick to the rules as they are right now. If a vet's income is at a certain level, the VA expects that vet to have the means to get their own health care. But that rule also included the COVID shot. Congressman Walberg says that's Congress's fault for not seeing that problem, and Congress needs to fix it.
It's common sense. This has put a little negative light on them, and they do such great work. It will possibly move us forward more rapidly to fix it.
And bipartisan legislation is being voted on as early as today to open VAs up to any vet who wants the vaccine.
The fact of knowing of his story and you getting that story out may indeed be the thing that pushes us forward quickly across the line.
It makes me feel good that there are no people like you that have a voice in Washington. Thank you.
It's your voice. We thank you.
The VA in Ann Arbor has about 18,000 COVID doses right now. Congress says they're going to fix this problem as soon as possible and then order VAs to give any vet at any income level a COVID shot if they want it. Sean Lay, Local 4 Defenders.
All right, Sean. Now, more vaccine supply means more appointments are opening up in Metro Detroit.
The Oakland County Health Division will hold 17 vaccine clinics across the county this week. Those clinics are by appointment only. Macomb County says new vaccine appointments will now be added on its vaccine website daily. Meanwhile, state health officials are tracking Michigan's first case of the South African variant to see if there are any additional cases linked to it. Overall, today, the state reports 954 new cases and 29 additional deaths.
Hard to believe it has been a year since the coronavirus crisis really began. This Thursday at 9 p.m., we're going to take an in-depth look at the pandemic's impact on our community, the success of the vaccines, questions about deaths in nursing homes, questions about schools, and how the socially distanced celebrations are continuing.
New guidelines from the CDC are providing some much-needed advice for those who are now fully vaccinated. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at what's now considered relatively low risk and why.
This is good news. It's science-based, it's sensible. You can hug your grandkids again. If you've been waiting to get a haircut or see the dentist, you can do that.
Let's look at some examples. The CDC guidelines say fully vaccinated grandparents can visit indoors with their unvaccinated healthy daughter and her healthy children without wearing masks or physical distancing, as long as none of the unvaccinated family members are at high risk if they catch COVID. That's because there still is a chance a vaccinated grandparent could transmit the disease. How big of a chance isn't clear yet. If the grandparents are visiting and the daughter's unvaccinated neighbor comes over, the visit needs to move outside with masks and physical distance. That's because people from the two unvaccinated households pose a risk to each other. In another example, if a fully vaccinated person visits with an unvaccinated friend who is 70 years old and therefore considered high risk, that visit should also take place outdoors, wearing masks and staying at least 6 feet apart. What about dining in restaurants or going to the gym? The CDC says the risk is lower for fully vaccinated people, but all precautions, including masks, should still be followed because the overall risk in these places is higher and increases with the number of unvaccinated people present. The CDC director assures the public the guidelines will change once more people are fully vaccinated.
Over 90% of the population is not yet vaccinated, and that is our responsibility to make sure, in the context of 60,000 new cases a day, that we protect those who remain unvaccinated and remain vulnerable.
The CDC's definition of fully vaccinated means at least 2 weeks past the second dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, or 2 weeks past the single dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Experts stress the vaccines are not 100% effective, so these activities are not no risk, but they are much lower risk in those fully vaccinated.
And staying with the coronavirus, tonight during his State of the City address, Detroit Mayor Duggan expected to announce a new Johnson & Johnson vaccine clinic in the city. Two-term mayor will give his address virtually from the new Stellantis assembly plant at Mack and St. Jean. I'd invite you to stay tuned here at 7 o'clock tonight on Local 4 for the mayor's State of the City address. We'll stream it live over clickondetroit.com as well. Well, yesterday, Police Chief James Craig called it one of the worst police incidents he's ever seen. Now, the Reverend Wendell Anthony is speaking out on the incident from last November involving a state trooper charged with assault. Dashcam video shows Trooper Parker Serbrook ordering his police canine to latch onto a suspect and had the dog continue to do so for several minutes, even as the man was pleading for help. Today, Reverend Anthony says more needs to be done to prevent incidents like this from happening again.
I dare say that if this had been the police department in Detroit, there'd been much more rigmarole relative to investigations and calling out what had occurred in the city of Detroit. This is the Michigan State Police. They should be treated the same as relates to these kind of investigations. So I'm glad we're talking about it, but more than talking about it, we got to do something about it. Who let the dogs out? The Michigan State Police. It's time to put them on a leash.
Reverend Anthony went on to say the Senate needs to pass the George Floyd Policing Act, the bill that would ban chokeholds and overhaul qualified immunity protections for officers.
Well, we'll take more March days like this one, but there is some rain coming, right, Ben?
Yes, a little good with the not so good. We do have umbrellas that are going to be up tomorrow, but there could be some thunder in there and a cool down as we head towards the weekend. We'll package it all up very nicely for you coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Ben, also scammers have gotten far too skilled at pretending to be members of law enforcement, and senior citizens are losing money in the process. Up next, the warning signs of a scam the DEA says everyone should know about. Back with more in just a minute.